So we got this nice dually here. It's a 16 model with about 10 grand on it. And the customer states that the adjust pedals don't work and there's no heat. And idle with heat on, truck blows cold air. And then something about a water leak, but we're not going to worry about a water leak. So I was doing a little bit of a visual, and I noticed that there wasn't any antifreeze in the bottle here. And I just poured a gallon of water in there and still don't have anything. So we're going to chase that with a gallon of straight orange. We'll see if we can get this thing filled up, see if it gives us any heat. So it took almost 2 gallons to fill it. So let's verify the concern now. So one of the nifty things about all the new vehicles out and about is they're so electriced up, so moduled up that we can use that to our advantage with a scan tool. Take for instance, this guy says his pedals don't work. Well, before we break out test lights and DVOMs and all that good mess, we can just go straight to the module that controls it. And we've got pedal in, pedal out, pedal position. I'm just going to simply control the switch, which is right here, and then we'll look at the scan tool to see if it responds. That way we can eliminate the switch. So if we go pedal in, it's on, and then if I push the pedal out, it's on. So switch is good. Switch is good and module's good for that part, but the pedals actually didn't move. As we can see, our position didn't move. Right, I'm going to hold you for this operation so the camera might be a little unsteady. It's the wiring diagram for the adjustable pedals. I had to put another half gallon of antifreeze in the radiator. So we got the cooling system topped off finally. I had to pull another half gallon in it, and I got heated idle now. So I don't know where this antifreeze is going, but in the meantime, I've just been letting the truck run. But in the meantime, I've been looking at these adjustable pedals. Now, this is the diagram for the pedals. This is power coming into the module, and then communication and ground. And there's your adjustable pedal switch. So that page doesn't show us anything, so let's go to the next page. And this is the meat and potatoes of it. So if we don't have memory, this truck has memory, it's loaded, then we've just got power coming into a motor, a circuit breaker, and power coming out. Unfortunately, we have memory, so we actually have a Hall effect sensor to detect pedal position. The diagnosis is pretty easy on this. I've simply taken a couple of jumper wires and gone across the power and ground circuit of the connector. And I brought those down to a test light. The test light's going to simulate the pedal. So we're going to go up here and press the switch. We're going to look for the light to light. So that was pedal out, and that's pedal in. So we've got good power and ground. I mean, it's enough to light that light. I mean, I could put a headlight on it. I mean, I'm sure these pedals draw a little bit of power, but this is a brand new truck, so I'm pretty sure the wiring's okay. So let's get an accelerator pedal motor for this thing. So I ended up almost putting 3 gallons of water, antifreeze, in this truck, and no leak. So we diagnosed the accelerator pedal, and then I went and drove it, and come back, everything was fine. I had plenty of heated idle. I said, this water's going somewhere, I better pressure test it. So I broke out the pressure tester, and these things have been updated. This thing has a 21-pound cap on it now. And when I got to about 13 psi, it started leaking antifreeze everywhere underneath the truck. You can see all the orange Kool-Aid on the floor. And it ended up being a hose. See if I can get this light's so concentrated. There's a hose right there, right in the center of the picture there, with a clamp on it, and the clamp was never released, and it's just spewing right out of that hose. That's the hose that comes from the degas bottom and fills it up. And it should look like this. So it should look like this, and then when you squeeze this together, this will lock and keep it apart so you can assemble the vehicle, and then you just pop it loose. So I got to get in there now with limited access and release the tension on that, release that clamp to where it's got tension on it, top it off, and put an accelerator pedal in it, and it's going to the body shop for a water leak, or a body shop for something. The bumpers, somebody hit the bumper of the truck or whatever, so I'll check back after a while. So we got our parts and pieces in for our dually. We got the hose, and we got the accelerator pedal. Let's examine those parts. Please excuse my messy bench. This is the hose. It's got quick release on one end, goes to the degas bottle, and then this end goes to the front cover, and that's where the clamp wasn't released. We're going to replace it because this thing's been shucking back and forth. I'm not sure how that's going to go. I may be able to film this pretty easy. I mean, it's easy to change. It's about the easiest way. I just pull the fender liner out and you get right to everything. But may not make for good video. So it's kind of a laid back day today. It's hump day. I may take more off than necessary just to get a good angle. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. This truck's got to go to the body shop to fix the bumper, so it's going to be here a while. They're not in a hurry for it. And here's our accelerator pedal. Let's see what's in here. And when you know it, they got the wrong one. So, actually, This is incorrect. Maybe I ordered wrong. Maybe I asked for the wrong thing. Maybe the motor's separate. Let me go look. So I made a mistake. I asked for wrong. I should have been asking for. I was asking for an adjustable accelerator pedal, and I should have been asking for an adjustable accelerator pedal motor. So I'm an idiot, or as they say in Venezuela, you idiot. Not a total loss. We reordered that. In the meantime, let's pull this fender liner out and see if we can see this hose. Nothing to it. Let's see if we can get in here. Here's the hose. It goes up to the degas bottle. It connects right above that orange. You can see the little spring clip in the center there. And then it comes down and it goes right to the front cover. So you see that circular hole in the aluminum, and then we come over and the hose connects right there. Now I could simply get in there and release that clip, but you know, it's a brand new truck and I don't trust that with it not being clamped for 10,000 odd miles. But you can't really see what I'm doing, so I'm going to move a few parts up top. I'm going to get a few of these pieces out of the way and allow me to get in there a little easier too, and then I'll set the camera back up. So first thing as usual, we're going to let this thing drain. I'm going to catch everything. I've got the cap off to allow air into the system so it'll help it drain. And I'll vacuum lock it. Now, one thing of interesting note is this is like January 22nd, 23rd, somewhere in there, and I got a feeling it's going to be a hot summer because we got I have all the doors open in the shop, and I'm wearing short sleeves. I have shorts on, but it's not, you know, it's chilly this morning, but it's going to be 70 degrees today, third week of January. So it's nice now, but who knows what it'll be like in the summer. So all my brethren in the north that are shoveling snow right now. I'm not, so that's a good thing. So we're going to let this drain and then we get to work on it. But in the meantime, I think I'm going to make a video of this beast here. I'm not the one working on it. but I've been given the opportunity to work on it, and they want me to replace the part brake shoes on the drive shaft. It's got a drive shaft mounted part brake, so we may shimmy under that after lunch and take a look at it. Here's the new hose. I had somebody ask me, where I acquired, or is there a place to buy all these plugs and whatnot? And I'm sure there is, but my answer was, I get all that stuff from replacement parts. And this is a prime example. This didn't come with anything covering or whatever, but the new one didn't. But it come with a clip, so I'll just keep this clip. When I instead of throwing this thing away, I'll just take this clip out of here. Like so, and then I've got a spare, and I'll put that in a drawer somewhere where I'll never find it again, but I've got a spare now. And this is the culprit. This is the offender right here. So this is extremely dangerous in this position, especially holding it barehanded. This thing will draw blood, break fingernails, but it's released. It's in its its unsprung state. I don't know the word I'm looking for, but anyway, it's not clamped. And it's got a little catch right there that's holding it in the released position. And the easiest way to unrelease these is just take a screwdriver, stick it in there, and then put downward pressure on that, which will pop that out from under that. So I'm going to release this right now. I'll put it in a vise and release it, because it doesn't do me any good. The area where that clamps at, it just, I don't need it like that. It'd be much more difficult for me to get in there with this screwdriver than these pair of pliers. So I can just simply use these pliers and manipulate this hose and clamp into place much easier than trying to get in there with a screwdriver or some 90-degree pick or something like that. Filming, I gave up. It's a new truck, and anytime you take parts off a new vehicle, it's not new anymore. So it wasn't worth, for the sake of getting a good video of me taking that hose off, for as simple as it is. I mean, it's a straight shot. Put it on here, you click it on there. It wasn't worth taking a brand new vehicle part, taking multiple parts off for no reason other than to get a good shot. I just didn't feel comfortable with that. Plus a lot of work. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at getting this apart. And I can't get in there with the camera. It's just the only place I can get the camera is on the outside of the fender well, and then when I'm inside the fender well putting this on, you can't see anything. But we can at least look at this. So let's pop this loose. And this shouldn't fly out and hit me in the head. Alright, so just put this in here, and I want to grab this a pair of vice grips just in case. And then just push down. And see how far around that came? I mean, that was up there, so if I had my thumb right there, it would have just shattered that nail. Would have been a bad day. Now if you look right here, you don't have much to work with when you go to release this. From there to there, from there to there, as I start squeezing this, right there we start working into that lock. So that's about as far as we can go with it. Put it on the new hose. And right there we're starting to get tight. So what I need to make sure is I don't get this locked again when I get it on the truck. I really like these clamps compared to a worm clamp, but the trick with these clamps is when you're using them, if you have an original hose that has the indentions for this, you want to put this in the exact same spot, all right? And then you want to make sure that this is perpendicular, because you can physically have this like this or like that, you know, like that or like that. You want to make sure it's just perpendicular to the hose, not twisted and not cocked. If you do that, like this is a brand new hose, I don't have to worry about the indentions. I just need to make sure it's, you know, nice and straight. If you do that, it works forever. These things never wear out. Sometimes they get rusty and break, but they don't wear out. And they don't damage the hose like a worm clamp, you know. And they don't loosen up like a worm clamp. Worm clamp, you got to go back after a while and tighten them up. So tune up for your cooling system. So I'm going to reassemble that, put the antifreeze back in it. It's got to go to the body shop for the bumper, and I think they said 4 days out on this pedal. So hopefully Monday we'll have the part, Tuesday, and we will revisit this truck and put that part on. We got our accelerator, pedal, motor, doodad in, and it's pretty simple. We just gotta unbolt the actual pedal from this motor, because we got a bolt right there. It's kind of hidden. And we got a cable that'll connect to the brake pedal, so they'll move simultaneously. So we'll disconnect, we'll unbolt the pedal from here, and we got these 3 bolts that hold this to the firewall. And if we didn't have an adjustable pedal, then the pedal itself would bolt in those 3 spots on the firewall. And then our connector. So let's put it in. I think some of the most difficult footage to try to capture is under the dash of a vehicle. And I'm not taking this seat out. These seats weigh a ton. One of the interesting things about this job is it's been a long time. I mean, we've had this truck quite some time. Matter of fact, I think I might timestamp the footage. I actually did the 6-liter runs rough leaks coolant entire job in between this job, waiting on parts. And you know, the first time I ordered the wrong part after the diagnosis. So let me get an air tool. I'll be here all day if I don't. So you know, that came in. We had to order that, and then it came in. It was also the wrong part. So then to have some sort of locking nut on them. I'll be there all day with a hand ratchet. Especially as long as these studs are. So anyway, so we ordered the correct part, and when it came in, it took 4 days. And when it finally came in, I wanted to look at it, so I opened it up at the parts counter, luckily, and when I did, it was encased in a ton of bubble wrap, and which is odd because Ford doesn't really package a lot of stuff in bubble wrap. And then the bubble wrap was taped, and it was really, you know, difficult to get it out of the packaging. And as I was unraveling it, pieces were falling out of it, and you know, the connector for the power circuit was broke. It was just shattered. So I think somebody, there's our pedal. I think someone knew this and then wrapped it up after the fact and shipped it. So we had to reorder again. And then when it came in the second time, it was right, but it took another 4 days. So I mean, we got 10 days in ship time. All right, now I am going to, I'm gonna have to unplug. I'm gonna have to get on here where the camera is. I'm not gonna be able to show you. I'm gonna have to unplug the cable, and I just can't get to it with the camera in the way. So let me unplug that and then we'll get back into it. Alright, so there's 3 bolts holding this onto the firewall. Now I've just got to get this cable routed over the steering column and get this out of here. So our new pedals on the left, our old pedals on the right. One of the biggest things you got to be careful of is this has to be indexed to the brake pedal. Now you can see this travel here. This is bottomed all the way out, and on this one we're not. I mean, we got a little bit before we bottom out there. So this accelerator pedal will not be indexed to the brake pedal. In other words, they'll be at the wrong positions, and when you start moving them, one's going to bottom out before the other and can damage it. So we got to index those after we get them bolted in. Let's see if I can get you a small little view of what I'm dealing with up in here. So here's our steering shaft, and we're upside down. This is the shifter cable. This is accelerator pedal connector, and this is the cable that hooks to our brake pedal right here. So this will drive the brake pedal back and forth from the accelerator pedal motor, and it's routed all the way up over this cable and this harness. So the harness will actually push pin in to the pedal assembly with Christmas tree doodads. So that's where that goes. And then I'll set this pedal up into place. Well, I'm trying to record this, but I keep forgetting to hit the record button. I'm not going to take it back off. I apologize. Anyway, you missed. I bolted it up to the firewall. And now I'm putting the pedal on. I'll try to do better. Having a pretty bad day. Before we finish with the jaws, we got to synchronize these 2 pedals. Make sure they're bottoming out at the same position, because right now they're not in sync. I mean, with the new the new accelerator pedal, it just comes in any position. You don't know where it's going to be at. So it's a pretty simple operation. All we're going to do is we're going to leave our brake pedal disconnected. All right. And we're going to roll the accelerator pedal down. Alright, so bottom the accelerator pedal out onto the rearward position. Then we're going to hook the brake pedal back up, which I don't think you can see. Anyway, this cable here goes into here, so we're going to hook that back up. Let me do that real quick. So now the cable is back and so to the brake pedals. So when we're going to roll the pedals outward or forward, they're going to both move at the same time. But the goal is we want this brake pedal to bottom out before the accelerator pedal does. So that's why we rolled the brake pedal's not all the way down. If it were, we would do this just in the opposite direction, the opposite of what we're doing now. The brake pedal's up a little bit. So by rolling the accelerator pedal down first all the way, we're ensured that when we bring them back out, the brake pedal is going to bottom out first. Alright, then we're going to disconnect the cable again, continue to roll the accelerator pedal all the way out to where they're at the same point, hook it back up, and then they're synced. So let's do that. Alright. Okay, so the brake pedal's all the way out. Alright, going to disconnect the cable again and then roll the accelerator out the rest of the way. Alright, let's roll the accelerator pedal out the rest of the way. Alright, now they're both at their highest point of travel. We'll hook the cable back up, roll them in, they should be fine. Alright, let's see where we stand here. So I'm going to roll them back in. We're good to go. Alright, so the last thing I want to do is just make sure there's no codes in the system. So let me get the IDS. We're just going to go straight to the SCCM because we'll be here all day if we do all the codes. We got all passed, we don't have any codes, so that's good. But while we're here, let's look at our data. So if we do our pedal in and out in pedal position, you can see our position numbers. It's 24, 24. If I roll the pedals in or toward the driver, you can see those numbers decreasing. Alright, and then if we roll the pedals back to the firewall away from the driver, you can see the numbers increasing. And that's important. We got to have that for the memory position because this thing has memory seats. So it'll adjust the seat, the pedals, and the mirrors all together. And if it had a telescoping steering wheel, it would move that too. So we need those numbers so the computer can know where to put the pedals for where the memory was set. Alright. So this one's good to go. I'm going to put it out and we're going to start another project. Thank you for viewing.